Welcome, my friends, to Cuentame USA with Moncho Camano. Today we're speaking with Andrew
Yeah,
Neiman. Will N,
will
with
end. That's
a
easier.
solo artist whose project is called Solid State Sunlight. Beautiful name. Uh, he makes, I don't know, industrial rock, electronic synths, dark wave, whatever you want to call. It's a studio project so far, and I believe he's in Colorado, a little far from New Jersey, but maybe one day I'll make it to Denver. Who knows?
Well, I have a spare room.
He has a spare room for me. Okay, we'll find out later on if he still believes that. Maybe he'll change his mind
Yeah,
after we're
we'll
done
see.
with the interview. You never know. So, thank you so much, Will, for being here today on a Sunday.
No problem, Jose. Good to be here.
Um, so, let me tell you guys, I came across his project not long ago. I listened to his EP. He published an EP in 2024, Exoanthro. I don't know if that's the way you say it.
That's right.
So he had four songs. And then I listened to his latest releases. The latest one is called Halogen Dusk in September. And in August he also has another song that I listened to called Fell Safe. So they're great. What can I say?
Ha!
I
Well,
really
good.
enjoyed them.
You're still on track to get that room, Jose.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
No, no, I
So,
appreciate it.
yeah. So tell me, Andrew, tell me about your project because it didn't. It's been not that long. You start this project, 2023 after the pandemic, 22. When did you start this
Yeah.
project, Andrew,
No, that's
Mr.
a
Andrew
good
Newman?
question. So yeah, I mean, stop me if you've heard this one before, but yeah, during the pandemic,
Hmm.
I wanted to be in a band because there's
Yeah,
nothing else to do.
me too.
We couldn't leave the house.
Okay.
But no, so 2023, I thought about getting back into music. I was in bands a long time ago, and it's been probably 20 years. And so it was all grunge and metal, and I was in a goth band for a while, but I always wanted to do something a little bit more percussive and industrial.
Hmm.
Um, and I balked, like I said, like 20 years ago, I kind of gave up all my music and went into like threw myself into my career. Like I hit that point in my life where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go be a corporate zombie and you know, uh, get a house and just make my life.
Right.
And then yeah, during pandemic, like I think a lot of people did, there was this sort of like, what am I doing? Like wow, I'm almost 50 and I haven't done anything besides make software for other people.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I guess I should probably get on that. And so yeah, 2023, I started to sort of do pre-production sort of stuff. Like, what do I want to do? Like, what kind of music do I hear myself making? Because I would wake up with a tune and write it down and try to
Hmm.
hum it into a recorder like you do when you're not really ready to make
Right.
music yet. And
Hmm.
eventually, yeah, I discovered, hey, I want to make industrial music, but I also have these like weird grunge and metal, like that's still
Right.
in my DNA. And
Right. I
so,
feel.
those previous bands were so serious, it was very hardcore. It's gonna be like we're gonna be like night chrome and darkness. I'm like, I can't sneak in the occasional like dark wave or like
Right.
grunge guitar track if it's
Right.
called that. And so like the band name had to be kind of generic and came up with that Solid State
The
Sunlight, which kind
solid
of gives you
state.
it's cyberpunk, but also has this sort of like natural element to it. This anyway, it's very
It sounds like
very
modern and
esoteric.
precise, I guess, the name. I don't know, electronics.
Yeah. Then
Solid.
2024, I finally like dove in. I was ready. I started to
Hmm.
write music. I bought a new DAW. I hadn't recorded since like Fostex and like old school, like using like FL Studio and stuff. And
Right.
um, like threw myself into it, and it was entirely DIY.
Hmm.
I didn't really reach out to anybody. I did it all by myself,
Right.
writing, recording, the whole nine. And so this first EP it was a labor of love,
Hmm.
and I'm glad you liked it.
I
But it's one of those
did.
things where it was like a baseline. I'm like, okay, this is the very first thing I did by myself. I proved I could do it to myself, and I'm gonna
Hmm.
get it every year. I want to make records better than the last year, and
Of
that's sort of
course.
my only real goal. I'm not trying to sell a million records. I mean, that's always cool, but
Yeah.
as long as every release is incrementally better than the previous one, I'm
Hmm.
stoked, and I'm glad to be here talking to you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I listened to that Exo Anthro, and that song, Exo Anthro, uh, that's the one I listen to the most because it's so catchy. I don't know. So it kept ringing in my head for like a couple days. I wanted to just get away from that song and listen to other songs. Then I did, but that one was always in my mind. I don't know why you did, but it was catchy for me.
Yeah, I actually didn't know if that was going to be on the record because, like I said earlier, like it's a very dark sort of a industrial sound,
Right.
and that song came out almost almost like Foo Fighters. Like the guitar sound had a very Foo Fighters when I'm jamming on. I'm like, this feels so good. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
gonna fit on my industrial rock serious business record,
No, it fitted
but
really
I put it
well.
on there, and I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it did. I like all of them. You know, I like all of them. Hope is a drug. It's one that I like. I like. I mean, there's not that like 1,000 songs that that I when you have like six songs that I listen to, it's easy for me.
Yeah,
It's not. I don't have to go
low
to all
impact.
these records. Like he has 10 records. I have to
Yeah,
listen to all of them. Which one is this? Which one is the other one?
yeah,
This one is easy for me. So I like that. The way you're doing it, it seems like after you release these two singles, you're planning to keep going, I guess. Maybe next month to put out another one. I don't know
right.
what your plans are, but it's, just tell me just a little bit about your the younger days. Not that you are an old man like me, but tell me about the younger days. Are you originally from Denver, Will? Or
Nope. I grew up in Wyoming,
oh,
in
okay.
rural Wyoming, so
Hmm.
there wasn't much to do. So I had an old honky tonk out of tune piano in the house growing up, and so I bang on that and learned how to play an out of tune piano where like the high C didn't work. You just and slowly but surely I would figure out how to play songs off the radio on the piano
Oh,
by ear,
right,
and
right, right.
then I eventually got sick of piano and wanted to play drums because cool guys play the drums,
Okay.
and but I couldn't play at home because my parents were like, no. I
Yeah.
mean, I bought this old shredded out like jazz set from this guy in town who was getting out of it,
Hmm.
and they're like, well, we'll make some phone calls and see if we can store them at the church. So there's
Okay.
a church that they were going to, and I was like, well, if I can practice after school at this church, I'll
Hmm.
do that. But I'm not gonna probably play the music they like.
Hmm.
So when nobody was in there, I'd go in there and practice Alice Cooper
Uy,
and
that sounds heavy
Sabbath.
for
So
church.
don't tell them. No one
That's
in my
heavy.
church
That's I
hopefully is
don't know.
watching
I
this.
don't know about that, but
But anyway, so then I when I actually studied music in college and got out of school, and
hmm.
my first real band where I got to pick the people and play the music I liked was a grunge band.
Okay.
That was in Casper, and then a goth band, and then a metal band, and then this really.
Hmm. So, do you have any like former music education, or everything is self-taught?
I have a I have an associate's degree in
Oh,
piano,
oh, okay. All right. That.
but not an education degree, so I couldn't really go teach like substitute teach piano. So it is actually the probably the least effective music degree you could get. So I have a diploma that says I am qualified to play piano for you in public. I could not teach you piano, but I could play
Okay.
piano in a public place.
Okay, that sounds good. So tell me about your lyrics. What themes are you drawn into? Well, I could tell. It's you talk about technology, about the human mind,
Yeah,
memory, and I don't know,
yeah, that's the whole
manipulation.
thing.
It's so much.
I caught myself. I mean, I'm a huge fan of science fiction. I think a lot of people who obviously write music about robots and aliens and stuff like we all love science fiction. But
Right.
I really am fascinated by this more human than human sort of concept, and so I wanted to create a world that I could write in, and so
Mm.
I wrote this whole like sort of fan fiction, for lack of a better, more elegant term. And
Right.
so there's a whole world that I'll spare you all the gory details. There's a link on my website that takes you to like this hidden like unindexed page that has the whole write up in it.
Oh,
And
okay.
it it talks about an alternate future where it's not like some apocalyptic thing. It's like if the corporate beige mega complex of the 90s, like
Well,
Hewlett Packard.
you don't talk about Peter Thiel and things like that.
No,
Okay.
no, though there's some allegory and metaphor in there that might apply pretty well. The track that releases next month, you're gonna love it. But
Yeah.
actually, it's in 2 weeks. It drops. It's all
Okay.
about the oligarchy.
Ooh.
Um, because the people who lead this world is like an autocratic technocracy, like all these great statesmen, like super rich tech
Right.
trillionaires that can like fly to Mars whenever they want because it's in the future a little ways.
Right.
But they're in the process of creating uh, humanoid robots to basically upend the labor economy as we know it.
Right.
I haven't yet figured out when that gets fun, and it's funny because I read economists that haven't figured it out either. Like, oh, there'll be universal basic income, like about a real world. What happens when humanoid robots
Yeah.
take over all of our jobs or whatever, if that ever happens.
I
And I'm
don't
like, well,
think.
I haven't solved that in my world yet, but it's underway. And this a lot of these songs are about robots that have inadvertently, through hubris and magic MacGuffin of fiction, have
Hmm.
begun developing their own identities. They're not super intelligent, but they're basically like almost baby humans, and they're learning. So a couple of the songs, one off of the EP last year is called Gravel Dawn, and
Right.
that's the one that's actually about the very first one that wakes up, and it's not some like Death to Humans Terminator story. It's literally it's a grinding synthesizer like clash. It's a lot of tension, but the lyrics are a lot of like this sort of childlike sweetness, like questioning the world,
Right.
how can this be real? Am I me? Am I you? Am I like trying to just figure out like
Yeah.
find their feet, find their hands, like it's like interesting as it like sort of becomes human. And so this
Hmm.
whole thing becomes a multi-layered, it's a layer cake of it's a metaphor for like childhood. It's a metaphor for becoming an adult. And
Mm.
so you get to play around with, the kinds of things that a therapist would be very excited to talk to me about.
Mm.
But it's it's
But
fun. It's a fun world to write in.
yeah, but all these themes, you get the music first, or you first you have an idea and then the music comes later because
It's a good question. It's not the same every time. And a lot of
Hmm.
times what I will get, well, I guess let me answer it this way. The music comes first and it's usually percussion.
Okay.
Like I will hear not just drums, but I'll hear uh, like words, like a staccato, like a rhythm, like almost like a rap.
Hmm.
This new song is the first thing that came to me, like before I even had the music. It's called Fall Apart. And all I did was I wake up and maybe like I like it here's like fall apart, fall all apart. Like this is like sort of like very
Right.
percussive, staccato
Hmm.
syllables. And barked like a punk rocker. It was great. And I'm like, okay, now I have to write a song worthy of this lyric, or it's got to go in the basket of unloved fragments at some point. Um, so that one was interesting because yeah, I did get lyrics first, but that's all I had. And so then I had to write a song around that one little
Right.
snippet. It's like, what's this song apart? What's falling apart? Like what's happening here? And so you have to go and like reverse engineer, like what is it? What is this? And
Hmm.
that one's actually one of the only ones not from a robot's perspective. That one is that cynical billionaire human perspective, and
Hmm.
it's yeah, the world's burning, and I'm cool with that. That's not a bug. That's a feature. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, fall apart. All right, the humans are the ones who are singing about falling apart. That's kind of fun twist.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, does anybody collaborate with you at all? Do you show those lyrics to anybody, or it's just everything is mine and nobody's gonna play with it at all? It's just me.
Right now, it's weird. I don't want to do a whole lot uh, of really public stuff, like especially when I start playing live. Like I do intend to do that,
Okay.
but like you noticed
Right.
correctly, so like the longest album is only what 5 tracks, and
Hmm.
it's maybe 40 minutes. And then I've got 3 songs that are coming out this year. Two are
Okay.
already out. One comes out at the end of this month, and that's another sum total 15 minutes. So if I play my entire catalog, it's like barely a set. And so I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at least a little bit more material. So if I
Okay.
book a show, I'm not gonna like have to play something twice or like improvise like, a, a Soundgarden cover or something.
Yeah.
But it's uh,
But
it's collaborative. I think that's kind of where I'm going with it. Is I think I anticipate more collaboration when I'm in a position where I'm going to play live more. Right now,
hmm
because it is so cloistered, it's a very this is the studio. Like this is it. The whole band lives
right,
in this room,
right,
and like there is no studio, there's no practice space. Like this is it. And so a
right.
lot has to go right to get to where I'm going to have people like play along and like learn parts and stuff.
Mm.
Lyrically, yeah, nobody's really messing with the lyrics at all yet. Um, Not that I'm
Mm.
opposed to it. I will say though, this year, in that sort of theme of I want every year to have something a little special, like makes it better every year. This year, I did for these tracks. I did
Mm.
collaborate with some people. Um, I brought in Dan Milligan on drums, so
Oh,
epic, epic percussionist, Joy Thief, etc.
oh,
Um,
okay.
and I have Mark Allen Miller from Out Out.
Mm.
He's doing mastering. So yeah, I picked stuff that I didn't necessarily like doing the first time, or where I thought the album last year kind of fell apart.
Okay.
From my perspective, I know I'm
Mm.
not a friendly critic to myself, but like I felt like the mastering wasn't that great. The album's kind of dull, and it's not a lot of separation. And I'm like, I gotta get a wizard in here to help me with this,
Mm.
while I learn more. Like I'm gonna, but until then, I need somebody to come and help me. And then
Well,
promotion.
I
Like
really I
I
enjoyed the
promoted the
EP. I don't know. I
yeah.
maybe it's
I
because it's been a while that I haven't listened to this type of music for it's been a so it was caught me by surprise, you know, when they told me about, I found out about the name Solid State Sunlight. The first thing that comes to my mind is Electric Light Orchestra,
oh
which
yeah,
has nothing to do with it, but
I love
because
ELO.
of the,
Yeah,
but
that's great. I love that.
but so what's keeping you motivated to keep making more music? Is there like, I don't know, is something that's pushing you, or it's just you? It's just this is what I want to do from now on, or do you think maybe it will be temporary for maybe 4 or 5 years and then we'll see what happens? Or is there something like that you
Yeah,
try to reach?
yeah. I mean, I guess I don't think it's temporary, but I mean, I'm also very flexible.
Mm,
Um, if life gets in the way, then obviously the band will have to take us a back seat. But like, I think um, right now it's definitely a desire to be productive and creative. I
mm,
think so many years spent in, um, I mean, I don't think it's unique to software, but so many years in my career as a software person,
mm,
some of those projects you can't even build them anymore. Like they're deprecated. It's old tech.
mm,
And I look back on some of those years and like I can't prove I did that. You know what I mean? Like the software we built, you can't even run it anymore.
mm.
And I mean, it's not the most, I guess, profound way to
But
put it, but it's like
what are you talking about? Software like Cobalt or something like what kind of
no,
what are you
honestly, I
talking?
mean, actually, ironically enough, we still use Cobalt. Uh,
Well, the
uh,
IRS does, I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm
Like
not
you still
sure.
get a Cobalt job. But I mean, unless Doge fires you.
Yeah.
But that's
Mm,
another story.
yeah.
But the no, a lot of it was mobile, like early days of iOS. And
Okay.
Apple is they're a very challenging partner if you're going to release software. I won't go into all of that, but because I'll
Right.
probably get, I'll disappear in the night or something.
Yeah, I'll
But
get so confused. I wouldn't know what to ask if you get into that.
yeah, no, I'm just trying to not get Apple legal involved. But
Yeah.
yeah, they have a sort of a forced upgrade path. And so if you write software every time they release a new version of like iOS or a phone, like you have to
Mm.
update your app and constantly on this treadmill stay with
Right.
them. And if you're ever like, you know what, like our users are falling off and we have a new version coming out, we're just going to let this one kind of fall off the radar.
Mm.
That's a great business decision sometimes. But
Mm.
when I look back, I'm like, I can't even buy a phone that can run that anymore. It's been forced sort of out of the ability to even run. And that's as designed. I'm not, that's their business. Like they can do that. But as far
Right.
as like motivation is concerned, I look back on that and I'm like, I spent 3 years on that app, and I can't even show it to you. I might
Mm.
have a screenshot where you can be like, look what it looked like, but it's
Look
like
what I.
I want to
Mm.
make something that's kind of permanent,
Okay.
and um, And if I'm going to, it's funny because you don't. We're blessed in that we have like this new sort of digital recording, revolution where I can, as much as I
Hmm.
disagree with the CEO of Spotify that it's like $0 to make music nowadays.
Yeah.
But you can, for relatively low money, you can at least record something,
Hmm.
and that is oddly more durable than a $10 million app.
Yeah, you're right. It will be listened to. I will listen to your music in 20 years or 50 years. It will still be
Yeah. Well,
valid.
and I still burn. I don't know if you can see it. I'm backwards. I still burn CDs, so
I
at
see
least
one in the back. Yeah.
yeah, that's the first copy of Exoanthro.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and so, because
Okay.
I actually got CDs of Exoranthro made because I was so excited.
Yeah.
It's only got 5 tracks on it, so it's like the CDs like this used. But
Mm.
but yeah, it's that, and that's partially why I did it. Is it was the first big release I did in this
Hmm.
project, and not only is the music fairly permanent, but I actually bought physical copies. And even
Right.
if I don't sell any, like held it in my hand, like this isn't going
Yes.
anywhere. Like
Yeah.
now, granted, nobody can play a CD anymore, but at least I've got
No,
something
you
that
can still
isn't gonna
play a
go
CD.
away.
Of course you can.
Yeah, no, I
I
love it.
still have some tower with CD and DVD players. So
Yeah.
it's still good. I was gonna ask you. Well, I guess because you've been working with all the so machines, I don't know. I guess they have a mind of their own. Do you feel like that? Sometimes they do. Like when you work with these synths or I don't know, with these
Oh
machines, they're
yeah.
like they take their own path. Sometimes like, well,
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting this. I don't know.
Oh yeah. It's amazing. It's funny. I've been in a lot of meetings with people who are software architects. Like their title has all this stuff behind it, and you'll come at them and be like, "Hey, I was using the product over the weekend, and it did this," and like that shouldn't do that. And then they go look at the software and they're like, this should never have worked. Like, how does it work at all? And I'm like, it's all magic, man. It's amazing. I mean, it's deterministic magic, but it is. Sometimes it surprises even the creators of the product. To your point,
Yeah.
like there are sometimes it's remarkable whether it works or not. As far as hardware, yeah,
Mm.
sometimes it's the same story. Like this, I have a synth over here that
Mm.
is it's a modular analog and it's got
Mm.
patch cables and all the usual stuff that goes with that.
Right.
And I mean there's times when I'm using like the oscillators because they have an infinite sort of pitch bend, and if they're not quite in tune, you can just kind of whack it and it'll be in tune. Like it feels like an old tube TV where it won't
Yeah.
stop rolling.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it shouldn't do that. This isn't software. It should just work. This is hardware. I remember yeah, it was a really great documentary on it was on Netflix. I Dream of Wires or something like that, and it's got like um old modular synthesizer guys talking about like there was some maybe manifesto guys and like they were talking you know
Yeah. Yeah.
old school like Buchla like the art of synthesis, and the guy was like standing there and he was playing like a loop in his big like old school like wall of modular like the Emerson Lake and Palmer days or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he just had like this like nest of patch cables, and it was just sitting there playing like a loop that was just kind of going, and then he would just like take the cables and just flick it with his hands and it'd be like he didn't change a knob, all he did was just flick the wires and the thing would freak out, and I was just like there's no chance that we can reproduce any of this. That's part of my concern
Yeah.
around playing live. I would have to record that and just play it on a
Yeah.
backing track because that is going to be, oh, it's 10 degrees cooler today, so I'm not going to make the sound.
Well, yeah.
Those guys who tour with modulars, they're made of stouter stuff than me.
Well, I guess the temperature has a lot to do with it. I guess, right? I don't know. The heat.
Yeah, I mean that's true of everything. I played one of the shows I played when I was in the grunge band. We traveled down to Colorado Springs from Wyoming. It was a big deal. It's an out of
Mm.
town show,
Wow.
and we drove way down, and it was freezing. There was no heat in the club,
Mm.
and I was playing drums, and it just sounded like cardboard. I'd never played in a room that cold before, and so I was just like, "This sucks. This sounds terrible." All none of our instruments worked. Nothing stayed in tune. So I'm like, it's not just synths.
That's
I
what-
I respect musicians that can just like walk on any stage and their instruments
yeah. Mm.
are in tune.
Tell me about that Colorado pipe that you have with you. I don't know. Is it the mountains or I don't know. Is there like a isolation? I don't know. I've never been in Colorado, but it seems like
Um,
very vast and wide. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of space, that's for sure. I mean, Wyoming is more space. Let's put it that way. I don't want to make my Wyoming guys mad. There's more space in Wyoming, but
Less population, I guess.
oh yeah, yeah. And I think there's more sheep in Wyoming than people. Colorado has a lot of people. I mean, I live in the metro area. Granted, I'm not in the heart of downtown, but I think the last census, like, there's in the whole like Denver metro, it's like 5 million. And
Yeah.
so there's stuff if you want it. Like last night, I mean, don't tell my hardcore metal friends, but last night I went and saw Paul McCartney.
Oh, you
Uh,
did. It's still
yeah,
up. Oh,
it was amazing. He played a ton of Beatles stuff. I was so excited. I expected it to be mostly Wings and like solo Paul McCartney stuff,
yeah.
but
No.
no, he played a ton of old Beatles stuff, and he's got it. I mean, he's
It's,
moving slow, but he's still got the weird sort of.
yeah. Well, I've never seen Paul
Uh,
McCartney.
but yeah. So I mean, like he came to Denver, so I guess we're something. I mean,
Of course you are.
we got a Beatle,
Pl-
but
Well,
I usually go hiking. That's my thing. So I go way up high, and so
mm,
it's easy in a matter of an hour. You can be on the top of a mountain and there's no
mm,
people. Like, so I like having that optionality. I think Colorado is unique in that it's both. It can be urban, but then you're not that far from being like truly like
yeah.
miles above
Okay.
the surface of the earth.
So there are a lot of local venues, I guess, that you could present your music to the audience in the near future, right? There's places
Yeah,
that you can, yeah, of course.
yeah. There's a scene here that's pretty good. And there's even some really great underground scenes. It's not just all like local
Mm,
sports bars. Like there's some really great goth clubs and metal bars and stuff. Um,
mm,
like AJ's a big promoter here. He does great work.
mm.
And there's a lot of Denver bands here that I don't know. I might see if I can look them up. The goth band I was in was down here in Denver, and
Are
so
they still around, or those
mm-mm,
they they're
no,
done?
nope. We had split up in
What are
who's
those guys doing right now? Are they making music, or they're working someone doing other things?
one of them is he's doing great. Made a really successful
Mm.
like audio drama where they do um, like role playing, like they play like role playing games, and then they narrate it like it's a old school radio drama,
Oh, that sounds very
and with
interesting.
sound effects, like Foley sound effects and voices, and like clashing swords in the background, like they mock it up like it's a whole, and it's a podcast.
Hmm.
It's called Dice Tower Theater, and
Really?
yeah, it's been winning
It,
several awards. He does great work. Mikey is amazing, Mike
I'm
Hatchett.
writing it down.
And then Dave Spethman was the bassist forever. He's a cool
You're saying
cat.
it's a podcast?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're
I
on
li-
Apollo. I don't know.
hmm.
It's my shot to plug Mikey's stuff. I should have looked it up. And Dave Spethman is in St. Louis, and
Hmm.
he works in a record store. Like he can't not work in a record store. That's where his heart is. He's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
doing some other stuff. I think he's selling property now. He's a real estate guy.
Ooh, okay.
So we all got old and responsible.
Well, I don't know about old. You don't look old to me.
Well, bless you.
You don't look old. You got much stuff, many years that you can start doing more and more music. You will never go back to any goth band or anything, or grunge band. Or maybe
I
if
don't
they
know.
call you, they
If
say,
they call
we
me,
need
I
your
would think
help.
about
Do
it.
you want to come with us for a
I would
while?
think
No.
about it. I'm probably a terrible drummer now, but yeah, I love those genres, and I've been sort of waiting for there to be a resurgence for some of that. I think
Mm,
as not just grunge, but I think um, I mean it's classic punk rock. I think it is as times, and I'm not going to get heavy, but like as times get really difficult, and
mhm.
obviously here in the USA, like shit's bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
We could
I
talk
think
for hours, but
the
I just,
music
yeah.
is starting to show up. Like, I mean, not that we didn't have great music before, but I think in these moments we get the best metal, we get the best punk, we get the best goth music. Like when everybody's pissed and
Yeah.
like
Well, like in the 60s, I guess. I don't know.
yeah,
It's-
yeah.
There's a lot
Not
of
that
bands that I've been listening to lately that that catch my attention. So you're right. There's a lot of stuff going on.
yeah.
So like I said, for you, you're not in social media that much. I see some of your posts on Instagram and well, in YouTube. I think I listened to your discography in Deezer. I could listen on Spotify because Spotify is it's I don't know. It's not. I don't know. They're all the same. If you think about it, I don't know if Deezer is much better than Spotify or Spotify, Amazon Music is much better than anybody. I know a lot of artists are pulling out their music from a lot of places. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think they all garbage. I think there is not too many left. I don't know if Bandcamp is still. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Bandcamp is still fairly safe. I
Mm,
know a lot of artists, at least in the circles that I'm in, that are
mm,
sort of regrouping and shrinking away from a lot of the streaming platforms. Spotify was
mm.
the first to go. Like everybody broke up with Spotify, who was
Right,
self-published anyway.
right, right,
And
right,
Bandcamp is still kind of where everything is happening because it's easy as far as like it's got its own like e-commerce, so you can sell merch and everything up there.
right,
People who have tons of tech savvy, like they're starting to embed like actual payment processing into their own like band websites, which is
right.
hardcore. I'm not that cool yet. But there's other Bandcamp likes that are communally developed. So you have like Amp Wall and
Okay, okay.
Merlot. I haven't looked at Merlot too much yet, but like I hope I got that right. But there are a couple of because Bandcamp got sold a couple of times, and that's been in the news, and people are starting to get nervous because
Mm-hmm,
they
mm-hmm.
laid off a bunch of the staff, and so the artists are kind of wary. Like we're still there, but everybody's kind of watching to wait for, hey,
Right,
we're gonna add this thing so all your music belongs to the AI or something, because that's what Spotify did.
right, right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, it's I don't know that one's better than the other. I think you're right. I would still say Bandcamp, but that's because I like
Mm.
files. Like I can go on the Bandcamp and when I buy something, I can download like a wave file, like a big, like a FLAC or a wave file, and get
Right,
like the
right.
high bit rate what the artist intended. Streaming
Mm.
is super. I mean, it's super convenient,
Yeah, of
but
course.
I
Do
I
you
don't.
have a record collection? Do you have any? Everything you have is like digital. Do you have
I have
like
I have some
vinyl
LPs.
or anything like that? No,
Yeah,
cassettes, probably 8 tracks. Forget it. But
I might have I don't know 20 vinyl records. I don't have a big collection.
mm,
I love it. I have a ton of CDs, but that's mostly just because that was the predominant format when I was, you know,
yeah, yeah,
not when I
the
was young, but
90s,
when I finally had,
2000s. Yeah,
it's like when I finally had enough money to buy music. Like CDs were big. Like cassettes were when I was a kid, but then like that was, you had to mow a lot of lawns to buy a cassette.
yeah,
but
yeah.
but when I finally was making enough money to go to the record store or to drive all the way down to Wax Tracks in Denver, that was a
Okay.
whole pilgrimage.
Mm.
But yeah, I still have probably 300 CDs, which is not a record, but it's in this day
300
and
is
age,
okay. I got probably like 1,000 to tell you the
yeah,
truth.
yeah,
But
I know a lot
more
of
like
people.
a 1,000 I got
That's
in
amazing.
boxes and boxes that I
Well,
don't
aren't you?
take out.
I was gonna say, where are you gonna put them? Like you have to buy.
Well, I don't even have them here. I already told this story, but I when I moved back to Spain, I carry everything in a container, everything I had, I brought back to Spain. And then after 4 years, I decided to come back to the United States. But then I couldn't bring a container back, so I just brought a couple CDs and vinyl in my luggage. So every time I go, I bring some back. But it's gonna take like 20 years to bring the whole thing back. Uh, uh, so everything I
Yeah,
got, I just go there and I look at it and say maybe I should take this CD or this other CD. But I can only fit like a couple. It's too heavy. So that's my thing.
yeah. I
But
I would not want to move. I only have, yeah, a third of your collection, and I would not want to move it.
yeah, I have so much stuff that I spent so much money, when I was young. My thing was buying all CDs, everything, I would spend all my money will go to that. So I
My
had a
investment
problem, to tell you the truth. I had a problem buying all that shit.
my
But
investment friends always told me to buy CDs, and then I did, and I thought they were going to go up in value, and I had the wrong CDs. They were supposed to be
yeah,
like certificates of deposit. What's that? That
no,
doesn't
I
fit in my
well,
ears.
I bought a lot. I sold on eBay a lot of records that I had, but
Yeah,
I stopped doing that, and you lose money that way too. So I just decided just to keep everything. Maybe for future family members, if they don't want to burn them up, they can keep them. I don't know.
well, I hope they keep them.
Yeah, I hope so. I got some good stuff, But so you're gonna tell me what's going on. Coming up next, you're telling me another song is coming you said this month, at the end of the month?
Yep, it's in week from Friday, so the 24th, and
Okay.
that's a kind of a grunge song. It's a
Hmm.
punk rock fury sort of anti-establishment song.
I like that.
It's technically written in this fantasy world where there's robots and humans who run everything. So
Hmm.
any similarity between the current administration and the song is purely coincidental.
Oof. Okay. All right. What's the title? Was it, you got a title for the
Called
song
Fall
or
Apart.
Fall Apart?
Fall Apart. Yeah.
Okay. Well, everything is falling apart right now.
It seemed like it was on the nose. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good name for that. Uh, and then next month you have another one, you said?
Well,
Maybe?
that's the last one.
Oh, that's the
Yep.
last
That's the last one, and then I'll regroup. I need to figure out what I want to do. I do want to do a full length record. I
one.
wanted to do one this year, and then because these tracks, a lot of them, I mean, Fall Apart was late, but the other two, Halogen Dusk and Failsafe, were done like in April,
Okay.
and then I reached out to Dan Milligan,
Hmm.
and I was like, Dan, if you put live drums to Failsafe, what would it sound like?
Hmm.
And I just was, it was on a lark. I just sort of impromptu. I saw him post, I think, in Sounds and Shadows on Facebook. Props to Ken.
Hmm.
Um, and he's just like, "This is great." He's like, he did it like in. I mean, it's Dan. He's not like 10 minutes later. He had an MP3 file in my
Right.
folder, and I was just like, "What?" And it was so good. And so that was amazing. Like I'm super appreciative, and Dan rocks. But then I was like, "Crap! I thought I was done with this song." So I had to start kind of, and then of course, collaboration is great because then, he
Right.
plays with dynamics and he kind of starts to play with, oh, let's like soften this a little bit and then big, build here.
Hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's great and all, but I kind of now I want to change some of my parts to make that even bigger. And so I'm going into re-recording and surgically like swapping some
Right.
stems out. And then so next thing you know, it's August. I thought I was done. And so I'm like, well, this album isn't going to get done this year because I've detoured and made these files better. I mean, these tracks are amazing,
Right.
but yeah, it's gonna be probably next. I don't know. I don't want to paint myself into a corner, but I'll bet it's gonna be next spring or early summer before I
Hmm.
have enough to do another record. And I'd rather not do an EP. It was cool doing an EP as sort of like my intro demo.
Right.
I would like to have like a legit sort of in my again my through line. Every record's got to be better than the previous one. It's like I'd like to have a full length record that's actually
Yeah.
something I would like. Like I love buying a record and like opening the liner notes and like
Of
smelling
course.
the ink and like reading everything. Like I love
Yeah. All the
the sort of
credits
the
and stuff.
sort of the ritual of unpacking
Yeah.
a record. And so to release these little onesie twosie tracks, I mean, it's been great because I'm proud of them and I wanted to get them out there. But part of me is like, dude, you've got to put out a real record.
Well, to tell you the truth, I enjoy more a full record than an EP or singles, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. Because, like you said, you forget about those singles when
Mm-hmm.
if they're together in a package, it seems to me like they all belong together. I don't know.
Yep.
So, I'll
Yep.
be
And I'm kind
looking.
of worried because even if I include these three
Hmm.
on the record, um, I don't know. Maybe nobody cares. I'm like, I
I
don't
don't
know.
think nobody
I'm
cares.
making them pay for it twice. That doesn't seem right. They bought the
Well,
single. You have to give, oh, half the album. You already own it.
well, the album. Maybe you can do something with an
Yeah.
extra. I don't know.
I'll have to get somebody to add
Maybe
more
a
stuff.
poster, a T-shirt, or
Oh
something.
yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, the art is from when I started. It's all from like 2023, and so I do need to probably freshen up some of the sweet merch for next year.
Mm. Well, little
But
by little, one day at a
same
time, like they
same
say.
story. I bought a t-shirt press and made my own t-shirts, so like a little factory.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? I just want to wish you the best and see what happens. It was a surprise for me to listen to your music, you know. You can see I interview so many different artists, but like what you do is a little different than the previous ones that I've been interviewing. You are a little different. So, I like that.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Yep. I just watched your, I think it was Freedom Commanders. You just did an interview of Freedom Commanders,
Oh
and
yeah, the
I noticed
friendship commanders.
they're gonna be in Laramie
Yeah.
in like November, December anyway. That's like an hour from here, and I was like, I
Oh
should
yeah.
check them out
They're cool people.
In Laramie, Wyoming, of all places. And
Yeah.
that'll be a rough show. It'll be great.
Yeah, they're
Those
cool.
guys don't mess around.
I really enjoy talking to them.
Yeah, they were cool. So I mean, like it's yeah. So I appreciate
Yeah,
that
I
you
got
actually listen to everything.
yeah, next week I'm supposed to interview some a goth band. So I don't know if they show up. You never know. For some reason, the two previous interviews I have to cancel because they didn't work out.
Oh,
Usually it doesn't happen like that, but that's what I try to do. It's a
yep,
hobby for me. I don't know how to play anything, any instruments. Well, I just pretend. All I have is decoration. That's about it. So I just pretend that I play instruments, but really this is just I enjoy talking to people like you. What can I say?
yep. Well, I'm glad to talk to you. I'm glad the power stayed on. Your weather
Yeah, yeah.
didn't
I
kick you
don't hear
offline.
much wind right now. I know the down south there was a lot of flooding going on. So here I'm by New York, not that far. So far so good, but they say it's gonna get worse. So we'll see. We'll see. So far so good. I'm not complaining. So thank you so much, Will. Hopefully I will talk to you again, maybe in the future when you publish the new album.
I would love it.
Yeah, we can talk again. If we're still around, if
Oh
those,
yeah,
I don't know anymore. I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to look at the newspaper, those digital newspaper. Sometimes I just don't want to do anything. I just want to,
yeah.
you know what it is?
That's why I love the mountain, man.
Yeah,
If I go up
here,
there, the mountain doesn't care.
yeah, you're right. Maybe I should move. Maybe I should move down to Colorado. I'll be your neighbor.
All right.
See you next time, guys. Thank you so much, Will, for being here on a Sunday and enjoy. If you got the day off tomorrow or no?
I do.
You do. I have the day off also, so
Nice.
I'll just walk my dog tomorrow. Talk to him. Sometimes I talk to my dog. He's the best listener. He doesn't complain.
Yep. I can see that.
You can see that. Thank you so much, and see you next week. Take care,
Yep.
Will.
Take care.